Why is she always turned off? My friend, most men talk the same. But you? After you watch this video, you'll know how to speak in a way that keeps her turned on, without trying. Because what turns her off isn't what you say, it's how it makes her feel. And when you finally understand the emotional signal behind your words, you'll stop chasing reactions and start commanding them. Stick around, because in number 3, I'll reveal the phrase that sounds confident, but secretly makes her lose interest faster than anything else you could say. 1. Let me explain. You didn't start a fight. You just noticed her tone shift, her eyes drifting, her replies colder. So you did what most men do. Let me explain. It sounds mature, but to her, it lands like a red flag. You're not just clarifying, you're signaling discomfort. You're subtly asking for emotional approval, and the moment she senses that, her attraction fades, even if she doesn't say it. Because explanation isn't masculine leadership, it's a quiet plea to be understood. And when it comes from nervous energy, it tells her, you care more about her emotional reaction than your emotional center. That's not what builds polarity. It dissolves it. She doesn't want a man who needs her to feel okay before he can feel solid. She wants a man who can hold space, not fill it with anxious talking. So when tension shows up, don't flinch. Let her silence sit. Let her emotions breathe. And trust that your groundedness will speak louder than your defense. If you were misunderstood, let her be the one to lean in. Not because you're distant, but because you don't explain yourself to earn favor. A grounded man doesn't chase clarity. He creates it by standing firm in his energy, even when the moment feels unclear. That's not cold. That's presence. And presence, my friend, turns her on far more than any explanation ever could. 2. I was just joking. You said something bold. Maybe you teased her. Maybe you made a comment that pushed the edge just enough to get her attention. And then, she didn't laugh. She didn't smile. She gave you that look. And suddenly, you felt the need to explain it away. I was just joking. You didn't mean harm, but here's the problem. That phrase isn't just a deflection, it's a retreat. To her, it doesn't sound like humor. It sounds like emotional self-protection, like you reached just far enough to stir tension and then backed out the moment you felt uncertain. She doesn't register it logically. She just feels your internal wobble, and that wobble kills chemistry fast. Because attraction isn't just built on what you say, it's built on how you handle the silence that follows. When you immediately retract your energy, she senses the truth. You were only confident if she validated it. And that's not confidence at all. It's performance. Instead, if you say something bold and the moment feels tense, own it. Hold still. Let her feel the weight of your energy without scrambling to soften the blow. Masculine presence doesn't flinch when the moment feels edgy. It leans back and lets her come closer. A grounded man doesn't joke to be liked. He speaks with clarity and lets the room adjust to him, not the other way around. Because the moment you make your words small to protect yourself, you shrink in her eyes too. 3. We should totally go there together. You're vibing with her. Maybe it's the second date, maybe the first. The energy feels light, playful, promising, so you casually drop it in. We should totally go there together sometime. It sounds flirtatious, like a future plan, an invitation to imagine more. But here's what most men don't realize. Suggesting a fantasy before she's emotionally invested doesn't pull her in. It pushes her away. Because to her, this line doesn't feel adventurous. It feels assumptive. You're creating a future connection without earning a present one. She hears it as, "I already see you as mine, even though you haven't earned that yet." And that energy, it kills the chase. It flattens the mystery. It makes her feel like she's been emotionally captured before she's even chosen you. Attraction isn't built on fantasy, it's built on tension. And when you rush to the future, you abandon the moment, which is the only place real desire can grow. If you want to keep her interest, don't pitch the getaway. Build the gravity. Let your presence today be so magnetic, so grounded, that she starts thinking about tomorrow, without you ever saying it. A high-value man doesn't imagine trips with a woman he just met. He makes this moment so potent, so real, that she starts imagining them on her own. Because the minute you push the fantasy, she loses the fire. If you've ever said that line, or felt her energy suddenly shift after what seemed like a good moment, then this video is hitting exactly where it needs to. So do two things, my friend. First, drop a comment and tell me the one thing you said to a girl that instantly changed the vibe. No judgment. We've all been there. And this is where we grow. Second, if this is waking you up to patterns you didn't even know were killing attraction, hit that like button so YouTube shows this to more men who need to see it. Now, let's keep going. Because number 4 is where things really shift. It's the moment most guys fall into emotional submission, and they don't even see it happening. 4. Are you mad at me? You sense a shift. She's quieter. Her vibe feels off. And you start to spiral a little, thinking maybe you messed something up. So you ask the question that almost guarantees attraction will drop. Are you mad at me? To you, it might seem thoughtful, like emotional awareness, checking in, trying to connect. But to her, it doesn't land that way at all. It feels like you're asking her to be the stable one, like you just handed her the emotional steering wheel. Because you got a little nervous. That flips the entire dynamic. She stops feeling safe in your energy and starts feeling like she has to manage it. And when a woman feels responsible for how you feel, she doesn't see you as a man anymore. She sees you as a boy. Masculine energy holds steady, especially in uncertainty. It doesn't demand clarity. It doesn't beg for reassurance. It gives space and trusts that the moment will pass without emotional collapse. So if her mood shifts, don't chase it. Don't fish for answers. Don't make it about you. Just observe. Let her come back to you in her own time. And when she does, you'll be exactly where you were. Calm, grounded, unfazed. A high-value man never tries to fix the feminine. He simply holds his frame and lets her flow return without pressure. Because the moment you ask, "Are you mad at me?" she starts wondering, "Why do I need to lead this now?" And that, my friend, is the moment she emotionally clocks out. 5. Just tell me what you want. She's distant. She's unclear. She's giving you mixed signals, and it's driving you insane. So in a moment of frustration, or maybe desperation, you say, "Just tell me what you want." It sounds direct, honest, even fair. But to her, it's emotional surrender. You're no longer leading. You're not even collaborating. You're handing her the controls and asking her to fly the plane, while you sit back, hoping she won't crash it. That's not attractive. That's pressure. Because what she wants isn't a man who follows instructions. She wants a man who creates direction. When you ask her to define the connection, set the tone, or guide the future, you think you're being transparent. But in reality, you're making her responsible for your uncertainty. That's heavy, and nothing kills desire faster than emotional weight she didn't ask to carry. Instead, step into clarity. Lead the moment. If her energy is off, you don't demand answers. You observe. You adjust. You make decisions based on your standards, not her confusion. And if you're unsure where things stand, don't ask her what she wants. Decide what you want and see if she aligns with it. A masculine man doesn't beg for clarity. He lives in clarity and lets everything else rise to meet him or fall away trying. Because the moment you say, "Just tell me what you want," she already knows what she doesn't. Every man thinks it's what he says that turns her off, but it's never the words. It's the energy underneath them, the approval seeking, the emotional handover, the need to be seen a certain way instead of just being. And the truth is, women feel it instantly. They don't need to explain it. They just pull back, ghost you, stop respecting you, and leave you wondering what the hell went wrong. But now, you see it. You've got no excuses left, because now you understand the difference between being a man who reacts and one who embodies his presence no matter how she moves. That's rare, that's powerful, and that's what turns her on without a single line of game. So if this hit you in the chest, drop a comment and tell me which line you've said before without even realizing what it meant. Like this video if you're ready to stop chasing connection and start creating it. And subscribe, because we're just getting started.